Hello and welcome to all of you. Today we are going to have a discussion which actually has become much closer and something that we all relate, understand, and that is mobility. What it means to move. And I'm very proud today to bring this conversation, and this is Shell's latest campaign, and let me call this campaign, which is very powerful. It says great things happen when we move. And I think all of us will understand what it means because we've seen our mobility in some way getting curtailed, but mountains can be moved, things can be moved, when you move. And we are here today as humanity because we have moved. And I'm so happy to be bringing this conversation, which is with Shell. And then today, what is very powerful is that, we're bringing very empowering very beautiful stories of two women who've moved things. And we all today understand that it's, still a big challenge when it comes to moving per se for women. But when women decide, then they can move anything. And we are going to bring stories of two women who've actually moved things for themselves. And in that process, move things, stories for women across the country. And I have with me Geeta Tandon, Bollywood's leading stunt woman, and Sumitra Sinapati, founder of Wow Club, which is Women on Wanderlust. And we also have with us someone whom I've admired and worked closely, Nitin Prasad, the chairman Shell Companies in India. He's very passionate about the what are the possibilities of powering progress with cleaner energy. And he's also a very strong believer in collaborations and partnerships and how we can bring change for our country, for India. Nitin, I have to begin with you. Your latest campaign, I love it. Great things happen when we move. Talks about growth, talks about progress. And, there's so much of hope and momentum in this campaign. Tell us, how did you conceive this? And what does this mean, especially today?
Yeah, no, thanks, Raja. And I think you said it. I think you said it really well. There's some powerful words in there, hope, and it connects to everybody. And I think if you think back, if I think back to my roots, why would something like this connect to me? I was just telling you about growing up in the mountains, and I remember when I got, as a family, we got our first car, we got our first vehicle, all those really special moments where we'd climb up to Mussoorie and then turn the engine off. You were still allowed to do that back then, and then sort of coast all the way downwards, and this absolute sense of freedom and the art of the possible. I mean, there's this real sense of pride and achievement, and it just felt absolutely wonderful. And I think I think that's being replayed many times over, even today, right? And you see it in the hopes and the aspirations of people from all over India who want to be able to move, whether it's for to be able to go to schools for education
Yeah.
purposes, or whether to go to cities for jobs and opportunities, or just to go explore the country, and this beautiful country that we actually have. And I think we're a country of dreamers, and dreamers who are aspiring to move and to be able to think about how we can transcend the mundane and be transformative. And this is all about how mobility can play a very significant role in not just the socio-economic impact, but just in terms of the bettering of our lives, and bringing some of that to all of us, in all different parts of the country. So I think this campaign is just essentially about people who use their vehicles to actuate their ambition, and by doing one thing, moving and moving forward. And for Shell, this is about our commitment, our mission, our passion, and it's about being able to move every Indian, whoever they are and wherever they are. And we're going to talk a little bit more about this, but of course, move them cleaner.
What you're saying is that mobility is in some sense also a matter of pride, right? Like owning the vehicle and moving. Yeah. And that brings me to the question, my question to Geeta. We are so proud to have you with us. You are Bollywood's leading stunt woman. And
My
I can
pleasure.
see, we can see your positive, beaming smile. We are all very proud of you. Tell me, what does it mean? ये क्या मतलब, कहाँ यहाँ पे जहाँ पे आप हैं वहां पहुंचने के लिए, उसके लिए what does it mean? क्योंकि ये movement जो आपने किया है वो आसान नहीं है. How? And tell us.
क्या होता है, जब तक ना रास्तों पे चलते नहीं है ना, तब तक हमें पता नहीं चलता. क्या होता है, सब एक ही जगह खड़े होके भूल जाते हैं कि क्या करना है. रास्ते में चलना जब हम स्टार्ट करते हैं ना, तब हमको पता होता है कि हमारी डेस्टिनी क्या है. तो मैंने अपने आप पे भरोसा रखा और रास्ते पे चलते गए. बहुत से हडल्स आए. हडल्स मीन्स बहुत सी प्रॉब्लम्स आई, बहुत सी रुकावटें आई, बहुत सी ऐसी चीजें आई जो लोगों ने मुझे रोकने की कोशिश की. बट आई नेवर स्टॉप. मैं आगे आगे चलती गई एंड आज मैं स्टंट वुमन हूँ.
Nitin, I have to ask you. You represent such a phenomenal, iconic brand, but being the face of a brand which is about mobility, you would have faced your own challenges, and tell us your approach towards roadblocks.
Yeah, thanks for the question. I would say, I think a brand is a very deeply personal thing at the end of the day. What is a brand? I mean, a brand is this, it's a persona of the collective, or a manifestation of the collective dreams and hopes and aspirations of a whole bunch of people who we put together in something that we call the company, right? It represents where we want to go, our purpose and the direction that we want to go into. And this means that we have to do a lot to protect it, because it's our value system, right? It's who we want how we want to demonstrate and show ourselves to the world, right? So it's how we come across. But equally, we want to nurture it, we want to grow it, we want to take it in new directions, and we want to connect with more and more people. And I really loved what Geeta said, right? Because she said, we just kept going and going, and she just kept going and going. And I think that's what this mobility is all about. And that's what you have to go and do, even for the brand, is that roadblocks come, and like a pioneer, you got to continue persevering, and you got to, take different steps. And ultimately, you have to know what is the direction you want to go. What's the ambition? What's the big step forward that you want to do? You got to have perseverance. You got to have, grit to be able to say, I'm not going to let the setbacks knock us backwards. And that's true for a brand, and it's true for people. Being focused on how to sort of get there, and ultimately, just conquering obstacle by obstacle, and moving and discovering new ways to be able to do it. And I don't think that's any different for brands and corporates, as it is for individuals and people. And that's what I really love about the way this has sort of come together. Because a brand is ultimately, as I mentioned earlier, a collection of a shared set of values from a whole bunch of people.
Yeah, very true, very true. And that brings me to Sumitra. Sumitra, solo travel is, from time immemorial, it is a journey. It is a journey, inner journey, outer journey, and it has so many dimensions to it. And till a few years, it was not even there, and especially for women, solo travel for women. I can still say that it sounds very oxymoron, but you started this, you're running it successfully. You have to tell us, how did you come up with this, and how did you make it a reality?
Well, Shraddha, I am always a dreamer, because I think things turn into reality, you have to dream a lot and you have to dream big. And so basically, I was a travel writer earlier. I went all over the world. I went to many different places. I had funny situations, adventurous situations, a lot of things happening for me. And then I realized that, look, there are a lot of women in India who can't do this. And my own friends and my family circle, they used to tell me, okay, you're so lucky to do this. You can go anywhere and you're independent. So that set me thinking. And I thought for a long time, 52 weeks to be precise, in the year 2004, till my family told me that, look, if you have a good idea, you have to move on. You have to make it work. And if you don't want to do it, then don't talk to us again about it. Because, 52 weeks over the weekend is a long time. So 2005 in summer, I decided that I have to move on. I have to take my idea forward. At least, Shraddha, I will know whether it will. So I had that dream and I wanted to make it happen. And I started in a small way. I didn't have a website. I just told kids, friends, their mothers, their grandmothers. I was so passionate about this. I wanted it to wanted to recruit anybody female to go with me on the trip to Ladakh because it was an all women's trip. So, summer of 2005, I thought of an unusual destination. I thought of Leh Ladakh, which not too many Indians had been, and we set off. So there I didn't even have a name for my company, by the way. I just went there and there were a lot of these people with me, the women, and primarily they were from the metros, Delhi, Mumbai, and Bangalore. And I told them that, look, I want something like an acronym. I want women, I want something to do with travel. And we decided there in the middle of Pangong Lake that it had to be women on wanderlust. Okay, so wow, it was. And then when I came back to Delhi, I added the rest of it, which is the club. So I want, and it was not just a travel company, it was, my thoughts were a lot beyond that. My thoughts were that women need an alternate social system, something to fall back on. Because after some time, you move on, you don't want to go out with your friends from office. You don't want your immediate family circle. You just want to move on. You want to have your own independent life. So that's how it started, as an alternate social travel platform for women. And today I'm so proud to say that it's not just travel that I facilitate for women. It's all about bonding. It's about making friends. It's about connecting to different people and going forward. So Shradha, I think I should also let you talk a little bit because you've given me this topic which I can never stop talking about. So do go ahead and let me know what else do you want me to say.
We have Geeta, we have Sumitra, who've done such phenomenal, they've taken journeys, movements in their lives. And that brings me to this campaign, great things that happen when you move. You have 3 videos, I've seen this, but I just want to ask you today, why did you choose to tell the stories of women?
Yeah, no, thank you. I think there's been a couple of different reasons, but we have had a tremendously strong focus for many years on empowering women, and that's been internal as well as external. From our programs in terms of STEM, and over the years, we've been seeing some amazing achievements. We sponsored a Shell Eco Marathon, which is about kids and coming and building cars, and we saw the first all-girls team Panthera, come and they built this amazing car. So there was, but what was the observation? The observation was that, women are not really associated with our sector. There's these very strong sort of stereotypes about, women not being very associated with mobility. And time again, we found ourselves, disproving that, whether it's through, having almost a quarter of the people who are on our retail forecourts being women. We're having all women construction crews. We have this, team who are building cars and engines, who are all girls. And what we really then wanted to do was then to come and showcase and highlight, women and leaders who are associated with mobility and who have been able to highlight the role that women can play in very inspirational ways, like Sumitra and Geeta have done. That's the first aspect, and the second aspect was also just being able to highlight pathfinding women who are successful in these so-called male-dominated jobs, right? And to say, well, why are they so-called male-dominated jobs? And here you have women like Geeta, who seem incredibly successful and highly capable. So what is clearly it doesn't need to be male-dominated. And I think I personally find these stories incredibly inspirational. And I'm really sort of hoping that, like you said, really encouraging all men and women out there, that I think we should take inspiration from these stories and just keep moving forward, because frankly, that's what we really need to do as a society.
Yeah, Nitin, what you're saying is so true. And then I have to call out for all of you that we were supposed to have Yogita Raghuvanchi, who is I don't want to say a woman truck driver, but yes, she is a truck driver, and we haven't seen, all of you will agree with me, we don't see women truck drivers. And what was very, very powerful about her story, that she was studying law and her husband passed away 16 years back, and to fend for her family, she took to truck driving, and what a powerful, awesome, and very independent work and proud work she does. Today she couldn't join us because she's in the she is on the road facing some challenges. And इसके बाद मैं सुमित्रा एंड गीता आपसे ये पूछना चाहूंगी, जल्दी से हमें ये बताइए कि आपको अपना मूवमेंट और अपनी जर्नी से अगर बाकी लोगों को आज कहना है कि मैंने ये जर्नी की और आप भी कर सकते हैं, और इस जर्नी के लिए ये चीज होना चाहिए, तो वो क्या चीज होना चाहिए?
मैं तो एक ही बात बोलूंगी, हार्ड वर्क और जज्बा आगे जाने का, एक लेडी का नाम रोशन करने का जज्बा। क्योंकि मुझे लोग इंस्पिरेशन बोलते हैं ना, तो मुझे बहुत खुशी होती है कि मैंने अपने रास्ते अच्छे चुने ना, तो आज मुझे लोग इंस्पिरेशन बोलते हैं। तो मैं चाहती हूँ कि औरों के भी ऐसे इंस्पिरेशन बने हमें देखकर। तो जज्बा बहुत कंपलसरी है, और हार्ड वर्क, और कभी हार नहीं माननी, चाहे कुछ भी हो जाए।
So it's a continuous process, Shraddha. The things that, and just like, I tell all women that you must travel because it does empower yourself. You do look forward to your freedom, and it makes you more alert. You bond with others, and basically, I do agree that things happen when you move forward, and I see them that a lot of them even come out of their shell, so to say. Because it's a terrific way to connect and to get to know people and humanity, and that's what I always encourage them about.
I want to understand from you, how Shell enabling, as a brand, how are you enabling mobility for the country, for India? And of course, we have a lot of entrepreneurs in the audience. So I want to ask you how you're engaging, working with startups in the country.
Yeah, thanks, Shradha. So I think one of the things I promised you I would talk about before was also not just about moving, but moving cleaner. And I think this is a really important point, right? Because we of course have to encourage movement and mobility and move forward. But equally, we need to recognize that there's challenges of air pollution, carbon emissions, and things like that we need to come back and do. And so a lot of the things that we're focused on as a company, is about providing alternatives and providing cleaner options, right? So whether it's our lubricants that we put forward in terms of being able to support new products that are coming in that are supporting the electric drivetrains. Taking a look at creating some new cleaner options for our customers going forward. Some our retail forecourts and our fuels there, which is about differentiated fuels that ultimately will clean the engines more and make them run better and more efficiently. And all these things are incredibly important because I've been in the marketplace and walked in, and all you need to watch and observe is people who want to see their vehicle being serviced, right? This is not sort of I go and sit there and be blasé about whatever happens. Actually, they're incredibly engaged because it goes back to that word we use. You're really proud of your car. It's something that is helping you move forward. That's helping you take your life forward. And therefore, you don't just want to just leave it for somebody to go do something. And you're incredibly concerned. You want to do the best for the car. You want to respect the vehicle that you have. And in many ways, some of the things that we do is about respecting that vehicle and helping it run cleaner and more efficient. We do things in fleet solutions about being able to have advanced technologies for efficiency and in terms of reducing the consumption that's there, but using telematics and other sort of data sources we will take forward. So there's a whole set of things that are there, which is the things that we do today. But you also talked really nicely and teed up for me is what do we do about the next wave of things to come, right? And we have two different things that are there. And one is the Shell Eco Marathon, which is, we do this on an annual basis. Once again, this year we'll have it in November. And you will see thousands of kids and hundreds of kids come in and build these cars from colleges and universities, and they go around a racetrack. And they've been able to achieve, the record actually is 3,500 kilometers on 1 liter of fuel. right?
Wow.
Which is outstanding, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's just absolutely outstanding what can be achieved, from an efficiency point of view and a mobility point of view. And it's really, really wonderful to see the innovativeness and the creativity of these kids. And equally, then we have Shelly 4, which is our startup incubator platform, and where we're trying to bring in all the different entrepreneurs who are engaged in the mobility ecosystem, about the next generation of solutions that they're creating. How do we accelerate their technologies? How do we accelerate their adoption of their capabilities, and take those things forward? So that's another thing that we're doing. So we have things that we're doing today, here and now with our businesses, and we have things that we're trying to create for the future.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Nitin. Sumitra, Geeta, it has been wonderful listening to your stories. And there's something that I want to say to you and to everyone, to the audience, and then Nitin, to you, because a big appreciation to leaders like you, because you are making sure that these stories come out, the stories of women come out. There's a very powerful saying that if a woman, and Geeta mein Hindi mein bolungi, if a woman stands up, somewhere for herself, then she stands up for all the women. तो ये माया एंजेलो ने कहा है, तो अगर आप अपने लिए खड़ी हुई हैं, आज स्टंट वुमेन बनी है, तो आप सिर्फ अपने लिए नहीं बनी है, आज आप हजारों लाखों वुमेन को, सबको गीता बनना है, क्योंकि अगर आप बन सकती हैं, आपने बन के कर दिखाया है, तो अब हम भी कहते हैं कि हम भी बन सकते हैं, ऐसा नहीं है कि हम स्टंट वुमेन नहीं बन सकते हैं. Sumitra, you've taken women and shown that you can do solo travel, and this story is so powerful because today every woman and a man watching will know that the woman in their house, in their community, in their vicinity, their colleagues can do solo travel, and it is equal. It's not that should be an exception, or it's something that we should be care or think about. So thank you. This is very, very powerful, important conversation in India, in our country, that we need to have. And thank you, Nitin, and thank you to Shell for making sure that as a brand you are responsible and you're caring to bring these kind of conversations and these types of stories. And I request everyone, go and watch, and I have to tell you the hashtag properly, Move with Shell. They have videos on YouTube. We will be putting this video, we'll edit it properly and have this video also available on YouTube. Thank you so much. I look forward to having conversations with all of you again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shradha.
Thank you.
Nitin, Geeta.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Really nice.
Petra, thank you, Geeta.
Thank you so much to all.
अब हम जज्बे से मूव करेंगे. Yes, thank you.